This is Mount Timpanogos in Utah, and this is the Provo River with some swallows flying. They've come back from way far in the south somewhere. They're not playing. I've got a fish on. This section of the Provo in the springtime is really good. Not much hatch at the moment, so I'm using the bounce rig. Using tiny midge pupae flies, about a size 22. It's a rainbow. There's a lot of nice rainbows in here. There's more browns than rainbows, but there's some beautiful rainbows. It's an example of fish, a self-sustaining population of rainbows getting better all the time. They're not stocked. Dan's got one on. He's playing it to the side there, trying to get it out of the current. That's a brown trout. The fish we're catching are all over 15 inches because there's a special regulation here that you can only keep them under 15 inches. And that means there's a lot of nice fish in there. That one's been caught before, you can tell by the corner of his mouth. These swallows are not playing, they're eating. And when they're flying, there's some kind of a hatch. In this case, it's probably midges. Later on today, there'll be some blue wings. Dan has another one on. Notice we're bundled up. A storm is coming in, you know. And before a storm is quite often good fishing. Not just trout fishing, bass fishing, all sorts of fishing. Something about the low pressure and the clouds and so forth makes it good. Especially on a trout stream, the low pressure and everything tend to get more hatches. And the fish are more active. The birds are working. And the rest, sometimes they come down to get a little bit of water, but they're mainly getting bugs. Sometimes they take a bug off the water. That's a nice brown. He's about 16 inches.
That one's on the little tiny midge. But the bounce is working. We've got this big midge hatch going right now. You can see the swallows are working it on top and the fish are working it underneath. But we're catching them under the water on the midges. When the rise gets better, like the blue wing hatch comes, we're going to try a few on top.
Dan's got another one on. He was wearing me out. I was on the camera, and before I could get the lens cap back on, he had another one. We lose a lot of them when we pull them against the current like that, but what can you do? Have to be patient. There's a rainbow. Well, I finally got a chance to show Dan casting. He was catching fish before I could get the demonstration of the bounce rig casting, the resistance casting we call it. Need a natural drift down.
All right, I still got it.
He's got one on.
That's not even a big fish, and he's just like hard to handle.
Play him to the side, keep a bend in the rod. Take your time, keep his head down if you can in this current. Another brown trout. Now I've actually got a chance to get out there myself now, and I've got one on. This is a rainbow. I can tell by the way he's fighting deep and hard. Not shaking his head too much. They're too fat to shake their head, those rascals. There he goes. Yeah, there he goes. I mean, he really goes. That's the way they are. Now, this is later. I'm playing in a brown trout here. This is not the one I just lost. Let you get a better look at this one. Now there's some blue wings hatching now, little mayflies, so I'm fishing dry now. I'm using Phil Bayer's no-see-em pattern, which is basically just hackle sitting up on top of the fly, you know, and they really work. I keep trying to come up with a better fly than that for this situation. I can't do it. I've been trying for several years. They're amazing flies. You look up no-see-em fly, and he has a website. Phil Bayer is his name. Shows you how to do it. I mean, how to make them. Got that one on top of the water. I'm skating him in now. Be okay if he doesn't dive down. Oop, there he goes. No, yeah. They use the current against you. I got him now. That fish I caught, I only cast out. Oh, he's a pretty fish. Yeah. About 18 inches, that fish. What I was going to say was that I was casting those dry flies just basically with a leader out. Now the hatch is basically over, so now I've gone under a little bit with a light bounce rig with a drowned pattern and some pupa imitations, because they're not coming up now. They were coming up for a while. The blue wing hatch was basically in the middle of the day. Now I got him. When we started out, we were fishing deeper out with a bounce rig, and then we got some dry fly action. Then the fish were in closer to the shore, and I was going with a light bounce rig there. It's a wild fish. So these aren't the only ones we caught, but these are the ones we can show you. Get out there before the water comes up, before the runoff.